Hey guys, it's Mario from WATL, and today I'm going to talk about when you know it's time to upgrade to a pro axe. On my hand, I have an ace of spades, and if you're starting out throwing axes and you're just beginning, don't buy this. In fact, don't buy any of our pro line axes. You don't need to, because you're starting out, you don't need to have the fanciest, most expensive product. And I'm telling you that because I want to help you. It's not that I want you to sell more of these or I want for you to avoid buying this product. Ultimately, I do. I want you to level up to get to the point where you can start using these products. But this is not really meant to be a starter axe. This is more for intermediate or advanced throwers. If you're starting out, my recommendation would be to start off with a competition thrower. Now, you're probably wondering, why would you want to start with this? First of all, as someone who's just starting out, or even someone who's kind of slightly getting a bit better, the main thing you have to focus on and the main thing you have to nail down is your throw. And what that means is you got to be able to perfect and find the way where the blade is always hitting the target. So you got to make sure that all your throws are one rotation only and making sure it sticks every time. Once you start getting at that comfort level where the axe is starting to stick every time, I would still honestly encourage you to stick with that. Now I'm going to explain why. The competition thrower, I see it similar to having a lower end set of golf clubs. And I'll compare it to golf because this is how I realize how huge of a difference it makes from having a crappy set of clubs versus having the top end of set of golf clubs. I took some lessons and I used to have a pair of golf clubs that I think cost me maybe $110. These are brand new, by the way. So there's some cheap no-name brand. They were awful. And I had 2 lessons and I was using these clubs and I was getting so much better. I saw a huge and drastic improvement once the lessons kicked in. Now for us, lessons would be the equivalent of having maybe someone at your local league help you or a pro league player help refine your throws or teach you to step forward or step back and being able to make sure that you're sticking the axe every time. Now, when I started getting my scores to be consistent in golf and I was finally breaking 100 and for context, I was shooting 130 and for those who don't play golf, that is an awful score. I mean, you're losing balls, you're dropping balls because a bunch of them went in the water and that's what a crappy score is and that's what I was getting. Now, I was consistently getting 30 shots or what they call strokes below that. So I was breaking 100 easily and what I did is I said, okay, now it's time for me to upgrade. Now I upgraded to a topper end line and that's when I noticed a huge difference between the clubs. Like it was completely night and day and axes is no different. Like once you go from a competition thrower to an ace of spade, there is no comparison to how much better this axe is in terms of the profile, in terms of the effort needed in order to stick the axe and the coverage, the 4 inches that you fully get. Not only that, just even the handle, the feel, the weight and balance of it, all of our high-end top quality axes, not just the ace of spades, we're talking about the butcher, the commander, the corporals, all of our axes are just built differently and they're specifically meant for axe throwing. That's not to say the competition thrower isn't. That is really designed to be a house axe or a beginner's axe and it's perfect for that. Now, once you start getting consistent throws and you start hitting the bullseye, even if you're hitting a bullseye or even within the 5 ring area, because now we have a smaller bullseye, once you hit maybe 2 or 3 in a game, that's when you're going to want to start looking to upgrade the axe. Now, once you start getting a bit more consistency and refining it, I honestly love to practice using the competition thrower myself because it is so hard to get a bullseye with this axe because the way it lands in and you have to land in is really tip first. So the coverage that you end up getting from the axe is ultimately maybe 1.5 to 2 inches versus your ability to be able to land flat with an ace of spades where you get the full 4 inches of coverage. So the competition thrower, even though that's not a thrower that I would use, say, in a tournament or in any sort of like major event, I would actually use that to practice, to hone in my technique, just to get the muscle memory back in order to hone in on that bullseye. Once that comes in, then I start practicing again with either the ace of spades or the butcher, where I get that full 4 inches of coverage. So basically, if you're starting out, stick with a lower end axe. Don't buy these right off the bat. You don't need this. You will want to upgrade once you start getting more consistent with your throw or when you start getting consistent and being able to stick the head first. Because when you're starting out and you're constantly hitting the handle first, the last thing I want to happen is for the handle to break on you because you haven't found your distance yet, and you haven't found how to fully rotate the axe yet, or you haven't found the way to properly maybe even flick it if you're flicking it. So don't spend all that money on expensive axes, especially if you're starting out. Do that as you get better. Level yourself up, be patient, be consistent. That's when you'll know you'll need to upgrade. Again, thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. We'll be producing more great content, and we'll be releasing a heck of a lot more new axes and new products. So follow us, stay up to date. I think you'll like the surprises that we have coming up in 2021. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Have a great day.